Hello, welcome to Sheffield Board Gamers. This is episode 75. My name is Rick. I'm joined today by Tom Cauldron. Hello, Tom.
Hello, Rick.
Hello. We're going to be talking about board games on our podcast today, as we normally do.
Yeah, that's not a great surprise, is it?
We're going to be talking about a few that we've played recently. We've got a question of the week, which is what games do you own by British board game designers? But before all that, I was watching a YouTube video about wargaming. A load of people got together and they were playing the big kind of war games, with like the big tables and the measuring tapes and things like that. So I kind of got it on in the background, and I was watching this, and they were interviewing a few people there, and one of the people had designed his own game, and he was saying, "Oh, this is a war game that's designed for board gamers. It's designed as a gateway game to get board gamers into the wargaming hobby." And that kind of pricked my ears, and I thought, "Wow, I've never heard of that before." I mean, we probably talk about gateway games quite often, and welcoming games, and games that people don't usually play, board games. But to hear it used kind of to get other people to play other kinds of games, I've not really heard that before. So this guy had kind of designed a kind of hybrid board game, war game type thing, and it was what he considered a gateway to wargaming. So I thought it was quite interesting. It's not something I've heard of before, but I guess there are gateways to all sorts of things. Is Wingspan a gateway to bird watching?
I don't know, could be.
Is bird watching a gateway to lion taming? I'm not sure. Where does it end? Where do you kind of... So yeah, it just pricked my ears up a little bit, and I thought, oh, that's unusual. I've not heard. Because I guess, I know wargaming is obviously quite a big hobby, and people play, the games that they play, and board gaming is quite a big hobby as well, and there's got to be a little bit of crossover there. So I'm sure there would be people interested in, that kind of game. But yeah, it's just interesting to hear that and think about like what that would look like.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of levels of wargaming, isn't there? There's like the ones that take an entire day, or there's some games that are just sort of, this is themed about war and it'll take 15 minutes, but
Yeah. So I think there's a lot of the wargaming hobby is all about the modelling as well, the kind of modelling of the...
Yes, there is that side.
And the painting and the fixing things together. I mean, as board gamers, we usually don't like to do that. We like our stuff to go in a box and everything be there, but
it's definitely a section of the hobby, isn't it?
Yes, that was one thing I was watching, and then the other thing is that we've been trying to sell some games. I've got a few too many games. I'm being honest now. I've got too many games, and I've been trying to sell off a few. Sold a few already, but I am actually finding it a bit of a struggle, and I think other people are as well. We've got loads of games to sell at the club. Like I've spoken to a few people there, and they've got some games to sell as well. So it's definitely a buyer's market. I think there might be, a glut of games at the moment, and maybe people are selling off quite a lot. I mean, times are difficult, aren't they? And people need a bit of extra coin in the pocket. And let's face it, it's not a necessity item, is it? Board games are more of a kind of luxury item. So
it isn't. No. I mean, I've definitely got enough games now, but the trouble is people keep on designing new ones, and I want to have them.
Yeah, so, exactly. Yeah.
That necessarily leads to having too many.
Yeah.
I think people just stop designing games for a few years to give us time to catch up.
So I was interested really in like ways that people kind of get rid of the games, how people sell them. Obviously, if you're selling locally, it makes things a lot easier because you don't have to worry about boxing stuff up and paying for postage and packing, things like that. So local sales are kind of the best way probably to do it in the way that you can probably make the most money. But obviously there's places online, places like eBay, and you can go on Facebook Marketplace and things like that and sell stuff. And I've seen quite a lot of people selling stuff on there. But again, not many people buying. You see loads of for sale posts, but not many replies to them. So even like the games that are being sold, they're reasonable prices, and there's some quite good bargains out there if you're prepared to, look for second-hand games rather than sort of brand new games, pre-loved games, shall we say. If it's sat on your shelf and it's not doing anything and you don't play it, then it's something that you can make a few pounds off. I've definitely taken a few games to the charity shop, ones that aren't really worth anything, or that I know that I'm going to have difficulty selling. I've dropped off a few of the charity shops, so there's some that I've just given away. And of course, there's the Oh, what's the game swap thing as well that Patriot Games host for the Roundabout charity?
There is another one coming up next month. This month, in fact, yes, July the 19th.
Yeah, I saw that there was one coming up soon. So that's a good way to get rid of some games as well. But obviously, the temptation is there to buy to buy games as well. So
I mean, we always go with the intention of bringing away less than we took. So we always put quality items in there. So
yeah,
get along. 11 o'clock, July 19.
Yeah, I've not been to the past couple, but I'm going to try and get to this one, and I've got a few games I can bring down. So yeah, that'll maybe get rid of a few out of my collection as well. But yeah, if you want to buy games, I think now's the time to do it. A lot of people at the club have got games for sale. So if you don't follow us on Facebook, jump on Facebook. We have a link to Discord as well. We've got a BBGG page where I've listed a load of games that people are selling at knockdown prices. So definitely jump on there if you're looking to buy.
Yeah, I mean, you could get a really great collection for not a lot of money.
Yeah. So I'm going to try and get down to the swap. It's a bit difficult because if you go early, there's like a massive line, isn't there? There's a huge.
Yes. Yeah. There is.
But they have introduced some rules now where if you buy some games, you have to kind of go around and queue up again to get back in again. You can't just like scoop up all.
I think last time you had a limit of, was it 3 games per person? So yeah, rather than just someone standing there and hoovering up every really good game that as soon as it landed they picked it up.
Yeah, because I've definitely
20 things.
In the first few that I've definitely been to, there were people there and they just had piles and piles of games and just left the monopolies behind. But I think they've kind of worked out. They might have had the same complaint and kind of worked out a way around that now. So, so you can either get there early, stand in the queue, and try and pick up a bargain, or if you want to wait until a bit later and see what's left.
Yeah, and we've sometimes done that. We've gone in, come out again, had a piece of cake and a coffee, and and then gone back in again.
There's a little cafe there that's really good. Yeah,
the cafe is really good. But yeah, the games that are on offer, I mean, they're constantly changing as people are bringing new stuff and all stuff's going away. So there might be something new come in that you want. Yeah, so it's. I mean, I've got some great games there.
Yeah.
Some shop worn or cafe worn games that Treehouse have put out to pasture.
Okay, yeah.
Some of them, but also ones that people have brought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll give that a go and see what we come away with.
Have you ever had a go at bring and buys at the big convention, like UK Games Expo or Aircon or whatever?
Not really. I have. When I went to Aircon last, I did buy a couple of games from there, bring and buy, but I didn't sell anything. No, I know Samuel's done that a few times, and he's quite happy with it.
Yeah, and I've sort of dipped my toe into the water. I took, I think it was 3 games to the UK Games Expo to put in the bring and buy, and I regretted it because it involved a couple of hours of queuing. First to put them in on the Thursday, and then on the Sunday queuing again to get them out. And then I discovered that I didn't need to queue in. I was in the wrong queue, so I could have just walked in the other door. But anyway, yes, I did end up queuing twice. Yeah. But yes, there was a lot of queuing because a lot of people are doing that, and some of them have massive bags full of games. I mean, they've put in rules again for you can only put in so many at a time. I think it's 15 or something, because they did have the problem of, I've got my games shop is shutting down, so I'm going to get rid of my entire stock by putting them in massive trolleys and monopolising the bring and buy thing.
It's 150 games. Yeah.
So now they've limited that, but it was still a lot of people doing a lot of games. I did get fair prices for them, so it worked out nicely, and they did sell on the Friday, which is nice.
Yeah, that's good then. Yeah.
But yes, I think I keep on meaning to get around to selling more games, but it's always a faff. Whichever way you do it, it's a faff. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Like I say, if you're putting them on eBay or something, you've got to find boxes and bubble wrap or packing materials and things.
Yeah.
You got to drop them off. You've got, if you're collecting it, you've got to arrange to collect it, or where you're going to meet. Can you drop it off? Can they come to you?
Yeah, and then there's math trades, which I've never been involved in.
I've done a few of those.
Really clever.
Yeah. They are good, but you don't actually. It's always net. So you get one, you give one away, but you get one back.
Yeah.
kind of more of a trade rather
And you're
than
not sure exactly
kind of it.
what you're going to get. You put things that you might be interested, and the algorithm sort of sorts out who's giving what to who, so that everyone gets something.
Done a few of those, and I've been happy with some of the games that I've got. Yeah, some I'm definitely going to keep. Yeah, that's another good way of swapping out games that you don't play.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we've been up to this month. Shall we talk about some games that we've played?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay, so my first one is a game called Pergola. This is a cozy game, in quotes. It's one of those games that are kind of fairly simple to sort of learn and play. 2025. Grow plants, invite insects, and make your garden look beautiful. It's a tagline.
Very nice. Yeah.
So it's a gardening game of drafting tools from kind of a central display. You'll get what's on the tools. So on the tools are some icons which will give you some plants, maybe some insects, some special abilities, things like that. So you'll take a tool, you'll get the stuff that's on the tool. But you also get an action as well, depending on which space it's in. So there's four different actions that you can do. And the actions are things like moving stuff around on your board, using your frog to jump on lily pads and get even more stuff. You've got like a little droplet thing on the side of your board where you can move down and get even more stuff. So generally collecting things is the aim of the game. So what you're doing is collecting different types of plants and different types of insects to put into your garden. You've got like a board in front of you. The neat thing about it is you get these tokens that represent the plants, and you can put them anywhere on your board. Doesn't really matter. So your board is kind of a blank canvas, and you can arrange it to look however you want, and you get points at the end of the game for different sets of plants that you've put on your board, different sets of insects, combinations of different things. You might get a couple of little bonuses as well, and then whoever has the most points at the end of the game wins. So it's a nice, simple, straightforward game. Plays between 1 and 4 players. Takes about an hour. Probably like 45 minutes, 40 minutes if you're playing 2 players. Probably a bit less. It comes with like a nice insert that holds all the pieces. There's quite a lot of tokens in the game. For each plant, there's a few different colours of each plant and different sizes and things like that. There's like tiny little wooden meeple things that represent the insects. So like the ladybirds are like little wooden tokens that you put on your plants. There are bees, there are dragonflies, and all these tokens are held in this kind of nice insert that you kind of pull out in one go. So it kind of fits in the box, and you just pull the whole thing out and put it on the table, and then you're pretty much set up and ready to go then.
Oh, very nice.
So the insert is really nice, but unfortunately it doesn't have a lid. So you have to be really careful when you're carrying the game, because if you tip it on its side, all those tiny little tokens are just going to go everywhere inside the box. So you can kind of have to carry it like a pizza box. And these tokens are really quite small as well. So
Right.
yeah, you don't want to be fishing them out once you've tipped the box over or turned it upside down. I can just imagine somebody turning it upside down to have a look at the back of the box and everything going all over. You don't want that. But yeah, I've played it 4-player, I've played it 2-player. I think it's probably a bit better at higher player counts. I think it's probably better at 3 or 4. I think I might like a bit more variability in the game as well, because when you're drafting the tools, you pretty much go through all of them, and you're pretty much doing the same thing each time you play the game. There's no like cards that you flip over that'll do something special this turn, or there's no like player abilities, special player abilities or anything like that. It's all just done from these tokens and these items that you're drafting. So I don't know if it's got longevity of, the depth to keep you coming back. Maybe an expansion can help with that. I don't think there is an expansion at the moment, but maybe they'll come out with an expansion at some point. Like I say, it was only released last year, so it's fairly new. But yeah, I wish there was a little bit more variety and a bit more flexibility in the actual game itself. But other than that, yeah, I've enjoyed playing it so far. I'm interested. I played it a couple of times. Like I said, I played it at the club a couple of times, and we've enjoyed playing it. So if you want a nice, easy, relaxing, collecting stuff, put it on your board, arrange it, how you think looks best. It's one of the games where you tend to take a photo at the end as well. because you've got this nice garden layout with all the flowers kind of growing and all the insects on the flowers and things. It all looks really nice once you finish. So,
very nice. Did it say you should take a photo, or is it just you feel
no,
like
it's
you
just
want to?
Yeah, it's just one of those games where you kind of end up with this nice kind of picturesque kind of landscape at the end, and it all looks really nice. So,
I remember there was one game that said after you finish, take a photo and put it on Instagram. Presumably they were.
oh yeah,
I can't remember what that was now. Oh, it was the Kodama Tree Spirits one.
Right. Yeah,
Anyway.
It's probably a similar sort of thing. Yeah, where you end up with kind of something that you've built and something that you've done yourself. But yeah, I quite like how you can kind of put stuff anywhere. You're just collecting these different sort of coloured plants and different kinds of tokens, and some sort of grow upwards and sprout out, and some kind of just go on top of each other. Some you hang from your pergola and you put your insects on it, so it all looks really nice and pretty. Yeah, a very nice kind of easy family weight game, Pergola.
I think that's the trend over the last maybe 10 years or something, maybe less, to have really pretty, nice games. So you're not like shooting aliens or saving the galaxy or anything. You're just putting nice things in a nice picture.
Yes. It's definitely that style. Yeah, it's very relaxed. The playing is it's quite chill. There's no stealing from other players and attacking them and things like that. You can't go over and stomp on the rose bushes. So, yeah.
Sounds lovely.
What have you been playing? What's your game?
I've finally managed to play a game which is very, very different to that. Alice is Missing, which is a silent role-playing game. It gives you prompts and hooks for a story, but mainly you're sort of creating it yourself. And your group are just only communicating and building this world and inhabiting the characters and things by means of text messages. So we were all sitting there around a table with our phones out. And normally in a game that would be a bad thing, but in this was actual how it was played.
Yeah,
it's a game about a group of friends, and their mutual friend Alice has gone missing. And over the course of the game, we create suspicions and things happen, and we start trying to work out why this mysterious clue has appeared that's pointing to this location over here. But it's all created by us, but just with prompts from the cards that we turn over every so often. There's a timer counting down from 90, and so when it gets to 80 minutes, I turn over my 80 card and do something, and so on. And then it all builds to a big conclusion at the end, and you don't quite know what's going to happen, but you've got to sort of narrate all this confusion over text messages, and oh my god, what's going on? That sort of thing. And it works. I mean, there was a group of 4 of us doing this. I think it plays up to 5, and we were all creating this story and trying to do our characters and going with the flow, and it worked quite nicely to create the sort of story that it intended to. There was a bit of it. The story isn't sort of the sort of neat structured thing that you'd have if you were sort of writing a story. It's got confusions and loose ends, and you've got to make something up on the spot, and it might have been, you might have considered it a bit more if you had more time. But it's sort of a little bit in between the confusion of real life and polished fiction, which is it was a nice, and it's a time limited thing, because although you have as much discussion as you like beforehand, the actual main bit is on a timer of 90 minutes. We had a bit of discussion at the end about what happened to that beer mat that I mentioned earlier on, and then turned out to be totally irrelevant. Yeah. Have you played a game called Fiasco?
No.
Which is similarly a role-playing thing where you sort of create a story among you with various hooks. It works in a different way. You roll dice to determine various things about the characters and then act out scenes to develop the plot. So yeah, it sort of works in a similar way, but I think the main difference is that you're writing instead of sort of being put in the pressure of, here you are, you're in a scene, go. speak to each other, which is a bit sort of Actors Workshop-y, if you see what I mean.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that same sort of thing, and you end up with this story that you've just created that didn't exist an hour and a half earlier.
Yeah.
And it obviously gives some pressure onto the players to be creative, but it worked really nicely.
Yeah.
I think it's be replayable as well, though. I mean, the general shape of the story will be the same, but be picking out different. There's a set of like 3 different 80-minute cards that could have come up, and then 3 different options for each of those cards along the way. So it would be different, and then of course what you do with those prompts would be different. Like, I didn't find a beer mat in her locker. I found a knife. Oh my god, what's that doing there? Yeah, it's having this thing of just you might think it's a lot of pressure to sort of say go create a story, but with enough hooks, it all works very nicely. And I think there's a whole sort of genre of these sort of RPG style things and LARPy things that there's a whole spectrum of things from here's something that happens to you to you create up all of what's going on yourself. And yeah, I think that whole side of the hobby has a whole lot going on. And I probably should try and get into it more.
Yeah, we had some friends who were playing Dungeons and Dragons, and their game master had to go on. He was on holiday or he had to go away for a couple of weeks, so he had a bit of spare time. So we played Alice is Missing, and I did a bit of prep work. We found it a bit difficult with the technology because one of the recommendations is that you change other people's names on the phone to match the character that they're playing.
Yeah,
you'll get a character card. And we managed to, because you need a group chat, but you also need a private chat that only you and this other person can see.
Yes, I think we used WhatsApp for that, so it worked all right. I changed the names of all my contacts, so I don't know if other people did, or whether they were just. I can remember what Tom was playing. It's fine.
That was a bit of a faff, and there were a few complaints about that because I think we're a bit older. We're probably maybe not as tech savvy as like some of the younger people who could play these kind of games are. So it took us a while to get that.
I think we were all over 40, but fairly tech savvy. So.
Yeah, but we managed to get there. We used the soundtrack as well. There's a soundtrack on YouTube with a countdown timer, which is really
yes. We use the official soundtrack thing, which is nice. It's sort of backgroundy.
One of the girls didn't really know what to do because I don't think she was really into the role-playing side of it. She was more into the mechanic side of it.
Right.
So when she turned over a card and saw like a particular item, she was like, I don't know what to do with this. So she needed a bit of help with that, but that kind of worked out all right.
Yeah, it does kind of need everyone to sort of contribute, and it could be easy to sort of fade into the background and let other people do stuff.
But there are some really good player aids. I printed out some player aids and gave them to the players before we started, and it kind of gives you some hints and tips and things about how to play, and if you get stuck and you're not sure what to do, consider doing this and things like that. So I gave everybody a copy of that. Did you print out the poster? Did you see the poster?
I did, yes. I know there was like 10 options for the missing poster. I nearly said wanted poster, but I just printed out one because I wasn't going to use all my printer ink to print out all of them and say which Alice do we want.
I did it at work, so I just did like 5 copies.
Right, that's fine.
Yeah. And then the other thing that towards the end when it was getting a bit exciting, I'm not giving any spoilers away, but it gets a bit frantic at the end.
Yeah, it ramps up somehow. It might be a totally different story, but it all sort of comes.
You're not allowed to talk, and people started talking, so I had to shush people a couple of times to tell them you can't talk. You've got to do it on the thing. They just forgot, and they were getting that excited that they had to shout out something. But
yeah, in our story, it made sense that I was unconscious for the last 15 minutes because that's just how the story had gone. So I was just sending messages to one person saying, like, "You find me lying there."
Yeah. But we had a really good experience with it. We really enjoyed it as a kind of one-off for the role playing group that I know, and everyone had a good time.
I think if I was to do it again, I'd be a bit smoother. I'd sort of be a bit clearer about which bits you're supposed to be role playing and which bits you're supposed to be discussing how to set up a character.
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil anything, so I didn't look at the cards or do anything beforehand. I didn't like watch any playthroughs or anything like that. Usually with a board game, you come prepared, don't you? You've read all the instructions, you know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
You maybe have played a couple of rounds yourself, but with this, I kind of went in blind. And yeah, you're right. There's a bit of, once you've played it, you obviously know what's going to happen and what the best things are to do.
And I do recommend Fiasco as well. So if you've got a group that likes that sort of thing of, just coming up with stuff that happens, a bit of improv, but with hooks, then Fiasco is basically you cooperatively create a Coen Brothers movie with all the misunderstandings and complications and plots going awry and things,
But you said you write it down on that one. You kind of write it on a...
No, Alice is Missing is the one where you're writing things. Fiasco is where you're sort of acting it out. Act a scene between these two people.
Right, got you. Yeah. Right, okay. So my next game then is a game called Dice Throne. Mm-hmm. I think Samuel's talked about this before because they played through the cooperative campaign that came out.
Yes, I've seen this played at the club quite a lot. Is this the one? I think someone was playing Santa Claus or something. Or am I?
Yeah, I think that's one of the extra characters that you can get. Okay. There's a whole load of characters that all do different things. Yeah. So if you're playing, you can play it cooperatively, you can play it competitively. It's really a 2 versus a 1 versus 1 game, like 2-player game. But they've kind of expanded it out with extra characters, and you can play a cooperative game against the game itself. There's rules for playing with 3 and 4 players as well. So there's a whole bunch of characters, and Dan's got quite a lot of them because I think he's backed a lot of it on Kickstarter. So he's got quite a lot of stuff and variety. So Samuel's talked about it because I think they've played through the campaign, the cooperative campaign with some of the characters. But we played a few times with the head-to-head kind of characters. So it's a game of basically attacking your opponent and getting the life down, trying to whittle away the life points until there's just one person standing. You roll dice, as you'd expect from a game called Dice Throne.
Mm-hmm. You sit on a throne?
Yeah, you roll your dice, and obviously the symbols on the dice, and each character has a board that unfolds, and it's got loads of abilities on there that are triggered depending on what you've rolled on the dice. So it's a Yahtzee style. You get 3 rolls, and then you pick the best. You can save some, pick the best dice, and then activate one of the abilities based on what you've rolled. So there's certain special ones that are really difficult. So if you roll 5 6s, that triggers your special ultimate ability, and it's really powerful. There's a lot of ones that are a lot easier to get as well. So like a 3 of a kind, or 4 of a kind, or a run, like 1 2 3 4 5, or 1 2 3 4. So there's all sorts of different combinations. But the thing is with this, that each character is completely different. They're all asymmetrical. So one character will be really good at attacking, one character will be really good at defending, one character will have buffs and things that do special things. When Dan played, he was a necromancer, so he'd got a small army of skeletons that he could conjure up, and they could do extra damage. I was a duelist, or a romantic duelist. So I was doing a lot of big attacks and kind of doing dancing kind of parries and sachets and things like that to try and distract my opponent. And there's a load of tokens, so you get sometimes you can drop tokens onto other people, so status effects and things like that. I had one where it was like a disarm ability. You can, after you've rolled a certain set of dice, you can give somebody a disarm token, and then they have to discard a card or give it you back or they skip their income phase. There's like an income phase where you get some income to buy some cards and things. But yeah, each character that you play does all different things, and they're all quite varied. So I think I've played it 4 times now, and with 4 different characters, and it's always been completely different each time. There's a little bit of a learning curve because you have to learn kind of what your character does and how it plays, and what the abilities do. But luckily, each character comes with a nice card that tells you all the stats and how it all works, and the rules and everything are all in front of you. So the dice that you roll, the abilities that you trigger, they're all in front of you. So it's all dead easy to sort of manage. Yeah, so we had a really good time. We've played this a few times, like I said, with the different characters. There's still loads of characters to explore. A lot of content, especially if you've picked up the Kickstarters. Dan's got a load of nice components as well for his, so he's got like acrylic tokens and like nice metal pieces and things like that. So that's all really good. All the characters come in like a special tray as well. You get like a tray with all your stuff in it, which holds all the dice and the tokens and everything. So it all sort of packs away neatly into this tray, and then the trays fit into the box. But yeah, I've had a really good time with it so far. Dice Throne, yeah, a nice dice rolling game that's good fun.
Yeah, I've seen it played a lot, and everyone seems to be having a good time with it.
Trouble is, though, it's a bit addictive because once you've played one character, you're kind of playing against somebody else who's got a different character, and you think, oh, I wonder how that would play. I want to play that one, or next time I want to try this one again to get, now that I know how it works, I can, to play it better. Or there's a lot of content in there.
There's a lot of things you can do with dice.
Yeah, there's definitely. Yeah. And I do quite like that Yahtzee kind of mechanic as well, where you roll the dice and then you kind of pick out the ones that you want. There's that. It's got a little bit of pushy luck where you kind of, I've got 3 that I want here, 3 dice that I want. If I roll the other 2 and I get some, certain things, I'll get a really good ability. Or shall I go for the easier one that's not quite as good? It's got those little decisions in it that are really nice. So
my last game isn't really one game. I realised as I was deciding on a game that I've got a whole load of Saashi and Saashi games. And a lot of them are fairly similar, so I thought I'd try talking about them all.
Right, okay.
I was playing one of them, the Saashi and Saashi games, at the club on Tuesday this week. That was Bus and Stop. So I know you came over and took a photo of that. So.
I did.
Yeah, and that's fairly typical of one of the strands of the games they do, which is you've got some cards, usually representing people, and you're trying to pick them and put them in places and make sets in various different ways. So that's one where you have them coming out, and they're various different colours and various different types. And when you're picking them from the bus stop, the market row, basically, you have to pick all of one colour and put them in your area, your bus. But then when you're trying to make sets, it's about what type they are. So you're trying to you pick all the yellows because there's 2 tennis players in there, and you've got some tennis players already, and then you can make a set of tennis players to claim this points tile. So there's it's a simple one of their simple games. It takes like 20 minutes. You score some points. You may try and push your luck a bit by going, I can get a few more tennis players before I cash them in. It's fine. And there's a bit of interaction, like, he wants some office workers, so I'm going to take those yellows, even though I don't want that office worker. It's nice. It's quick. It flows very nicely, and it's quite similar to some other of games they've got, which is the one I've played recently is In Front of the Elevators, I think, where the people you've got, they're all cards, they're all different colours, they're all different people. You've got boys and girls, mothers and fathers, and grandmothers and grandfathers. Everyone's got their own colour of people, and they're wanting to try and manipulate these queues in front of the elevators so that your people, as in your colour of cards, are in the scoring positions at the end. Every time you put a card down, and it might be one of your colour or it might be someone else's colour, doesn't matter, whatever you've picked up, when you put that card down, it has some effect. Like if you put a boy down and there's a mother in the row, the boy just goes in front of them. If you put a girl down and there's a boy in the row, the girl goes in front of the boy. If you put a lost child down, then that picks someone of the same colour in that queue and puts them to the back to look after the lost child. So you can, because you're not just putting down your colours, you're putting down other people's. You can try and put yours down to get in front, but you can try and put down other people's to mess up their plans. So this is another game where you got people and they're just sort of moving around, and you're manipulating things into the right scoring positions. And similarly, Shall We Dance is another one where there's different colours, different types, and you've got cards, and you're trying to get them and put them in sets. And it's another 20-minute card game where a fairly simple mechanic leads to some interaction and jostling for position. They've got a good style. All the art on them is cute and cartoony and very calming. I don't know if that's the way you describe it.
Yeah.
No ninjas or Vikings. It's just people standing there and being families. So a lot of their games are, simple card games, but they've also got slightly more complicated ones. Like there's Come On Board, I think it's called, where you're playing a sort of Mancala thing. You pick a card and it has like red, black, yellow, red. So you pick up those coloured meeples and drop them. You pick one of the cabins on your ship and you move around, dropping each of these in that order in the cabin. So you have to put a red, then a black, then a yellow, then a red. And you're trying to get the right people in the right cabins or to score. And the various different cabins have different scoring conditions, like this one wants 3 of one colour and 1 of a different colour, or something like that. And there's extra things like bonuses that you can get whenever you complete a cabin or do something else, or this gives you, when you complete this one, it gives you some other bonus. So there's a little bit more going on there, and it's a lovely game, plays quite quickly. One of the games that's more available in this country is Get On Board. Have you played that one? That's a...
No, I haven't. I don't think I've played any of these.
Okay. Well, Get On Board was originally a game called Let's Make a Bus Route, where you've got a map, a shared map, where you're putting down your little wooden sticks to make your bus route, and someone else is putting down their little wooden sticks to make a bus route, and you're trying to get the right combination of icons. So I'm putting down my stick here and here, which means I'm picking up an office worker and a senior citizen and another office worker. And then you mark that on your sheet, and they turn into points. If you've got like 5 office workers, they turn into, and you tick off the next line of that and get some points or get some bonus, which gives you another student or whatever. So that introduces a sort of a map element, but it's still the same pleasant, interactive, but not aggressive vibe that they're going with. And I think every game that I played with them, played by Saashi and Saashi, has been just nice. I don't know if that's... I think they'd be happy with that, but nice is what they're going for, I think. I think they had a stand at UK Games Expo, so you could get a lot of the little games that you might not otherwise get. So, but I don't otherwise know how much all of these are available in your typical...
I was going to say, are they available in print? Because I've seen a few of these games, and I've seen obviously a few being played at the club.
Get On Board has definitely been published.
They always look like interesting games with interesting themes and things like that.
I think there's a strand in Japanese games of people doing sort of small things in little games that you can produce fairly quickly and easily. Have you heard of the Tokyo Game Market? That is a big event in Tokyo where there's lots of little traders, as opposed to like UK Games Expo, where you might half the hall is taken over by Asmodee or something. Tokyo Game Market is more about... I mean, you do get some larger stalls, but a lot of it is just someone's got a little table, here's 20 games I made. And it's more for the small-scale maker who's just made some things. And that's sort of the culture that Saashi games, I think, have grown out of, the small imprint games, which I think Japanese games are sort of geared towards. Not always. I mean, obviously there's variation all over the place, but that's the impression I get. I seem to have ended up with quite a lot of them. I don't know quite how. They just sort of keep on getting more of them. I think the only other one I haven't mentioned is Great Evening Banquet, and I think you can guess the general thing. You're getting people in different colours and trying to arrange them in places in ways that score points. So,
yeah. Very good. Okay. So I think that's the games then that we've been playing. Shall we move on to our spotlight
Yes.
ones?
Now then, Castle Combo is one I think I've only played once, but I did enjoy it. So.
Right, okay. So we're looking at BGG and we're going down the most played games. And the next one on the list is Castle Combo. So this is a kind of card drafting game. Let me see if I can refresh your memory. Because I've played it a couple of times, but it's been a while since I played it. You've got 2 rows of cards and you've got a token. You can purchase one of the cards from the row with a token on it, or you can pay a key, move the token to a different row, and then buy one of those cards. And the cards go into a grid in front of you. And basically the cards will either score you points, or they'll get you more money, which you can use to purchase more cards, or they'll get you keys, which gives you the flexibility to move the token and pick from different rows. Cards generally score for either which row or which column they're in, or maybe they want to be next to a certain type of card, or maybe they want to be on the edge or in the middle. So the positioning of the cards matters, and the type of cards that you draft. And you want to try and get the combination to work in this kind of small grid that you're building in front of you to get the most points as possible at the end of the game. So once the grid's filled up, you count up your points, add up all your money, all your keys, most points wins. It's fairly straightforward. Quick little card game. 2 to 5 players. Takes between 10 and 25 minutes, it says on BGG. So I think it's probably about right. I think the interesting thing is the drafting, isn't it? And trying to pick which card you want and which one will fit best into your display, because you are kind of limited and they all cost a certain amount of coins, so you have to have the coins available. The keys give you a better flexibility. Do you go for the ones that give you more coins and keys, or the ones that are scoring? Some of them have banners on as well, which have special abilities, I think.
Things were fairly easy to understand, but you couldn't do everything at once. You couldn't help. You couldn't make this one score properly and that one, because if you put this here, it helped with that one, but it messed up that one, which is always nice not being able to do everything.
I think I've played it a couple of times, and I've enjoyed playing it. It is one of those kind of filler games where you can play it while you're waiting for people to turn up, or once you've finished your long game for the night, you've got half an hour spare, you can break it out and play a quick game of this quite easily. Another kind of gateway, welcoming kind of game. Anybody can play this. It's just kind of pick a card, pay for it, and then put it in your display, isn't it? So it's fairly easy. It's the combo bit, which is the complicated bit of working out, which card is going to be the best for your particular situation. But easy to see why it's up on the most played list, because it is one of those that's like fairly quick. You can probably play it half a dozen times in an evening if this is all you're playing. But I think, like I said, most people will play it like towards the end of the night as kind of a filler to finish off, or while they were waiting for somebody else to finish a longer game, perhaps. 2025 Spiel des Jahres is recommended. So it wasn't a winner, but it's a recommendation. And I think there's just been a new expansion come out for it as well, with extra cards.
I didn't realise it had been Spiel des Jahres recommended. I remember being had some funny bits. I can't remember exactly what happened, but I think we may have been building some sort of narrative about the soldier getting in the way of the princess or something. I don't know.
Well, the cards all have all the characters on, don't they?
I think that was us being funny rather than the game. But anyway.
The knight who's landed here and he's next to this.
Completely spoiling the view of the princess.
Yeah.
That's not part of the game, though. That's what you bring to it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a good, nice little filler. So yeah, if you like that little card games like that, then yeah, definitely worth having a look at. Quality
game.
Yeah, very good. Okay, so our question of the week: British game designers. So when you mentioned this, I thought, that's a great idea for something to talk about. There are a couple that immediately sprung into my brain. Obviously, it's quite a lot. We've put some of our ones that we thought of down on the list, but there's probably loads that we've missed.
Yes, there's a lot of people doing game design.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some that you don't realise are British, possibly. We don't always know the nationality of the designers, so it's not always obvious, is it? So shall I go through a couple that I thought of first off, and then you can go through go through a couple?
Yes.
So one of the first people that I thought of was Ellie Dix. Ellie's been very kind enough to come on the podcast before, so I've spoken to her about her games and what she does. She has produced a few games herself, and she's also had quite a few published as well. She's the designer of the Coaster games, so she designed some games that come on a beer mat, basically, and you play on the beer mat. Her latest one is a game called Threaded, which is doing quite well, I think. Ellie's a really lovely person that I've spoken to a few times, and yeah, she's doing quite well. And then the other one that I thought of was Adam in Wales, Adam Porter. He has his own YouTube channel, which I've watched a few times, which he goes into in depth on a bit on designing and things like that. So maybe you've seen his YouTube channel, but
yeah, they're very good videos actually.
Yeah, they are really good.
Quite insightful.
Yeah, quite interesting. Yeah. He's the designer of Throne, and he's got a new one out called Ember Heart, which is like a dragon, like a bigger Euro type game with dragons and things. 2025, which looks quite cool. So Adam Porter, is another one that I thought of.
Mm-hmm. Now they're both trying to sort of put out a lot of games, as in some big ones, some small ones, trying to sort of fit things to the market. I would say, I think Ellie does her own publishing. I'm not sure about whether
she has done. Yeah, I've definitely kickstarted some of her stuff in the past.
Yeah,
and it's all self-published, but I think she does have her own all Threaded. Osprey Games.
She also does work with sort of commissioned games for companies and things, I think. It's an interesting side thing.
Yeah.
I don't think I've played any of Adam's games, but I've seen his videos. I think for Ellie, I've got a few of her games. I've got some of her lighter ones. I've got a Cracker game that she did.
Oh, yeah.
Which is obviously intended get it out at Christmas, and you've got a little game in the Cracker that you can play. But there's also a fiendishly complicated one called Uranus.
Yeah, I remember.
What are you giggling at? What are you giggling at? Come on.
Nothing.
That's about sort of trying to manipulate aliens into moving resources onto a planet, and it's a complicated Euro in a small box. It's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's done a lot. I think she really tries to do a lot of variety. She's done some sort of mass market things for Waterstones as well, like
really?
the Jane Austen game and the Sherlock Holmes,
right.
Shakespeare game. Sorry, along with Mandela Fernandez Grandon, I think. So yeah, she's an example of someone really, really trying to do a whole lot of design. I mean, you get people who sort of work on one thing and try to produce their masterpiece for 10 years. And I suppose it's the same with anything like that. Like, you get novelists who, here's my novel, I've been working on it for 20 years. And you get ones who publish loads and loads of stuff.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's that side of things.
Yeah.
Another prolific game designer, well, actually, he's been doing it for many years, but Martin Wallace, obviously, is... I think when there were not many people who could call themselves a full-time game designer, I think he was one of them.
He's definitely been doing it well,
maybe him and Rainer Knizia and Alan Moon, maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been doing it for a long time.
Designer of Brass?
Designer of Brass. Is that still the number one game on Board Game Geek? Which is a big thing in the board game hobby. Board Game Geek rankings is the only real objective thing that we've got to hang things on, isn't it?
But like you say, he's been designing games for quite a while, and there's lots and lots of games that
some of which I played and thought, this is rubbish. Which is, I mean, he has a good shout at being the greatest ever board game designer from this country, but but I think he knocked them out quickly.
Right.
And some of them are just not for me. I mean, not for the the serious hobby game market. He did
Yeah,
things like, did a game for the British Museum and things. So obviously that's not going to be. You have to know all the Euro games to get into.
Yeah, he's done Doctor Who games and things like that.
But he's done little card games. He's done big games. He's done a lot of train games. He's done games that aren't train games, but really they're train games. So, what are his biggest games? Let's find out. Obviously, Brass Lancashire and Brass Birmingham, which both started off as just Brass.
And I think there's a new one coming out as well, I think.
Oh, he's always got something coming out, yes.
Yeah.
Age of Steam was a big one that he did a while back.
Yeah.
That was a highly ranked one for a long time.
Yeah.
It's dropped down a bit now. I think it feels a little bit dated when you play it because it's got things like players can just, if things haven't gone right for them or they haven't quite got the speed of the game, then they could just be eliminated and sit there for half an hour getting crushed.
Right.
So that tends to be not the way things are designed these days. That was like 2002, but still a great game. Oh yeah, Brass Birmingham, which was sort of a redo of the mechanisms of Brass, which then became Brass Lancashire. Brass Birmingham is number 1. Brass Lancashire is 22 in the Board Game Geek rankings.
Right.
Age of Steam is his third ranked one, 138.
Right.
What else has he done? Anno 1800. London. Oh, that's one of my favourite games, London.
Oh, yeah.
We get that out fairly often, and it's a great game of developing London and trying to get money but not have too much poverty.
Yeah,
it's great. And as many of his games involve, he often have to take loans out. Oh, we had his company had the Discworld license for a long time, so he's got a fair number of Discworld games. Discworld Book is one that's hard to find. Yeah, if anyone has that around, then it's probably worth quite a bit of money. It lists 154 designs by him on Board Game Geek, and even if he'd just done one, and it was Brass Birmingham, he's number 1 on the rankings. So yeah, Martin Wallace. So do you reckon he's going to be the greatest designer from Britain after we've?
Well, I was looking at my collection and I looked on BGG and I sorted it by designer, and I've definitely got the most of games by Martin Wallace. So possibly, yeah. But one person I wanted to mention especially was Maureen Hiron.
Oh yes.
She's a game designer from sort of the 80s era. Unfortunately, she's passed away now, but she started off with Bridge, writing a Bridge column and writing quiz books. And then in the early 80s, she started producing her own board games and designing games. And from that point onwards, she was basically designing board games. The really interesting person. She's had a long and varied career. It's really interesting to read her Wikipedia page. But she was still designing games into the 2000s. I've seen YouTube videos of her at sort of spiel events and things like that, where she's describing the games that she's designed and released.
Wearing a very exciting hat, I believe.
Yeah.
I think remember.
Yeah, so
acceptably dressed, I think she was.
Yeah, definitely one of the pioneers of gaming back in the sort of early 80s.
I think he's designed many games, but I think there's only one that I know, and I don't know if that's going to be the same for you. The only one I know by her is Continuo.
Yeah, I've heard of that one. I don't think I've actually ever played it. I think it's one of the first ones that she designed, I think.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I remember seeing it around quite a lot in the 80s.
Right.
Because I remember the 80s. But yeah, it was a popular game.
Right.
And very successful, and I think that was her first one, and she kept on producing more as well, but I think that was the only one that really hit.
Yeah. Elizabeth Hargreaves, designer of Wingspan, obviously very popular.
And is she British? I thought she was...
Oh, no, I don't know.
I thought she was American. Either American or Canadian, I'm not sure which.
Okay.
But Yeah. I mean, I may be wrong. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but yeah, I assumed she was British, but yeah, you might be right. I don't know. Rick Priestley, the designer of a lot of Games Workshop games, again, quite an old,
Okay.
quite an old designer, but he did a lot of the board games for Games Workshop in the 80s and 90s and that kind of era. I think he's done role-playing stuff. I think he's done Warhammer stuff, things like that. But yeah, a very prolific kind of designer from that era from Games Workshop. Any that you've wrote down that you want to mention?
I would like to mention Leslie Scott. Even if you've not heard of Leslie Scott, you've definitely heard of the game that she designed.
Okay.
She's designed several, but the game that I would think that 90% of game designers wish they had designed,
right?
Jenga.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I mean, Martin Wallace maybe number one on Board Game Geek, but I bet he would give all that up to have the sales of Jenga, I'm sure. But yeah, she after the success of that, she founded a games company and probably lots of other stuff as well. Ex Libris might be another one that you've heard of. I don't know, but Jenga is the main one.
Right. Okay.
And here's where she is counted as a British game designer, but she was born in Tanzania, so I don't know. To her British parents and moved back to Britain. But, so yeah, I think there's definitely an argument between is Martin Wallace the greatest game designer or is Leslie Scott? I think counting very different things. So.
Yeah. While you were talking, Elizabeth Hargraves from Florida. So
right,
yeah,
okay,
not British. So
right.
So sorry, Elizabeth, cross you off the list.
Okay, we tried to claim you, but if you want to move to here, you'll be very welcome.
Oh yeah.
Some other names I've written down may be a bit surprising here. Have you heard of Neville Chamberlain?
The Prime Minister?
Not the Prime Minister.
Right, okay.
I've just written him down because there's one game associated with him, and it's from the mid-19th century, and it's snooker. So Neville Chamberlain invented snooker. Actually, it's a bit different because game design back in those days wasn't so much I'm going to design a game, but here's all these things floating around, here's our version of it. So there was already lots of Q Sports. He just sort of was part of a group that was making up their own rules for things there, and in this army camp in India in 1850s, and they had a lot of free time. They knocked some balls around and made up their own rules. And Snooker was born, but he was the one who wrote them down, so he gets the credit.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And similarly, I've written down Sir John Suckling.
Right.
His claim to fame. Well, actually, he's got a couple of claims to fame. He was a 16th century aristocrat. 17th century aristocrat. Yeah, 17th century aristocrat.
Yeah.
Who spent a lot of time writing poetry and gambling and playing lots of cards.
Yeah.
And he is credited as the inventor of cribbage.
Right.
So, Martin Wallace may have maybe number one on Board Game Geek. Leslie Scott may have sold 50 billion copies of Jenga, but can they say that any of their designs have been played for the last 400 years?
Yeah.
They can't, can they?
No.
Yes. But yeah, of the ones that are a bit more modern, I've written down David Parlett. Do you know who David Parlett is?
It doesn't ring a bell, no. David
Parlett is the first ever winner of the Spiel des Jahres.
Oh, really?
Which counts for something. It's a what was the game called? Hare and Tortoise. Won in 1973, and I think it won twice somehow because they were kind of making it up as they went along in those early days. But yes, that's something for the history books.
Yeah.
And I think, as far as I can tell, there's only one British person who's been nominated or got on the sort of shortlist for the Spiel des Jahres more than once. And that's Brett Gilbert.
Right.
I think you will have played some games by him. He usually designs in partnerships. So he's done some games with Matt Dunstan, other games with Trevor Benjamin.
Yeah.
So he's been nominated for the Spiel des Jahres for Elysium a few years ago, And then a couple of years ago, it was the Guild and Merchant Explorers.
Right. Yeah, I've played those. Yeah.
But it's also come up with lots of other games. He's fairly prolific in collaborating with lots of people. And he's done another one of my highly played games, which is a little 2-player card game, which is Mandala. I don't know if you played that one, but yeah, very nice. Very all your plans go wrong very quickly. But it's very nice.
Yeah,
and it's got a tea towel in it.
Yeah.
I've got one more person that I'd like to put forward as the greatest designer from Britain. That's Francis Tresham. And that's not Francis Tresham, the 16th century aristocrat.
Mm-hmm.
Although there was a Francis Tresham. He was peripherally involved in a gunpowder plot and ended up with his head on the spikes in Northampton, sorry. But no, this Francis Tresham is a giant of 20th century game design. Not only did he publish a game called 1829 and multiple other things starting 18, and started off the entire 18XX
it's his fault.
Railway genre. Yes, it's his fault. So that in itself has sort of dominated an entire field of the hobby.
Yeah.
But he also created a game called Civilization, and his company was later acquired by Sid Meier, who then turned it all into computer version. So yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it came from that.
Yeah. And I think Civilization might be the first game that has a tech tree.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's lasting contributions to design. It did a few, obviously did more things, like war games. I think we've got an unplayed game upstairs, which is for 3 players, and it's a long war game. So it's unlikely that we're ever going to get that played, but you never know. It might happen.
So a lot of talent in the UK then by
I mean,
by these names.
If we're going to decide who do we give the crown to as the greatest ever, who would win in a fight between Francis Tresham and Martin Wallace and Leslie Scott? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe get them all playing King of Turkey or something. last designer standing wins.
Maybe.
Yeah. So a lot of talent. We've only just scratched the surface there. I think obviously loads, yourself included. Obviously, prestigious.
Oh yes, obviously.
Of course, yeah. But a lot of other people, of course, who are doing design and things. Not to mention the artists, the production people, the graphic designers, things like that get involved as well.
There's a lot going on. I do have one more name that I'm wondering whether I'm allowed to put this in.
Okay.
Rainer Knizia.
Is he British?
Well, I mean, technically,
I think I know what you're going to say here. Yeah.
But his golden years of rising to the top and becoming the most important game designer in the world, arguably, he was resident in Britain from like the mid-90s through to like 2020 or something.
Yeah, he did live here for a period, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
Good old Rainer, the honorary Yorkshireman. I think if
he was the Yorkshireman, yeah. I think if it hadn't been for Brexit, it might still be living here. I think it just got too awkward trying to do everything.
Yeah.
So he moved back to Germany.
Yeah.
But yes, I think we're going to claim him as an honorary Brit. So therefore, all the greatest designers in the world.
I did mention that the most games I've got in my collection from a British designer is Martin Wallace, but most overall I think is Rainer Knizia. So
if we're counting him,
yeah. So thank you, Rainer. Thank you, Martin. Thanks for all the others that we mentioned as well for for all the fantastic games that you provided over the years. Okay, yeah. So I think that's pretty much it then. Have we covered everything so far?
I think we have.
Okay, well, Tom, thank you for coming on again, talking to me. It's been fantastic talking to you as usual. We've been the Sheffield Board Games Club. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode. So goodbye for now.
Goodbye.